Here goes my testimony of a 20-year-old university student. I grew up in a relatively Christian household and went to church with my family most Sundays. We weren't super religious, but we still considered ourselves to be a Christian family. As I grew older and became a teenager, I always had a shy voice in my head that kept me from doing really stupid, sinful things, like drugs, and I always knew it was God. I was super lukewarm for most of my life and ignored a lot of the convictions God sent me most of the time because I loved my sin but wasn't aware of it. I struggled with mental illness in high school and had many doubts about continuing my life in high school. I was too afraid to tell my parents about my mental health issues because I assumed they wouldn't take it seriously. I had told them one time and they brushed it off. It really hurt me. God saved me from myself and the harm I could have done to myself and people who would have been deeply affected by what I could have done. I was still relatively lukewarm throughout the entire journey with my mental illness. And it wasn't until 2020 lockdown I finally met God. I went through one of the most hardest and traumatic experiences of my life. When my best friend and I split because of something so stupid. We let a boy get in between us. She was my rock. She was there for me since we were in elementary school. I lost her, and I felt like I lost my world, blamed her and myself for everything that went wrong with life afterwards. But God showed me such a unique way of healing. He didn't want me to hold a grudge and blame her for everything, and He certainly didn't want me to wallow in self-pity and blame myself for everything either. I felt such a surreal amount of supernatural patience and support from God throughout the entire journey. I just knew it was Him. Don't get me wrong, I had some pretty bad days, but God opened my eyes to help me see that He was using this terrible thing that happened to me for good. Afterwards, He kept disciplining me, and I started to really read the Bible. I finished reading all of it in a couple of months. His word replenished my soul, and I was saved that year. I never knew love so deep and great. As a kid, I always had the icks for cheesy and sentimental love. But God's love is so much more than that, and it's helped me accept the love I know is pure.